Hey guys, since it's election day, I thought I would do a quick video about names of some politicians and important political figures. And my brother had suggested this to me a while ago, and I had been thinking about it. And I decided that there are enough names that I could go ahead and do a video on this. So, the first one is, of course, Barack, who is our current president. And Barack is a Hebrew name. It means blessed, which is a pretty cool meaning. And it's really interesting to look at the popularity of this name because in 2007 there were 5 baby boys named Barack, and I'm guessing those might just have been people that liked the name Barack. But in 2008 there were 52 baby boys named Barack, and in 2009 69. In 2011 it's dropped back down to 15. So I definitely think this influenced that this name was influenced by Barack Obama being elected president. Obama as well has been used as a first name, and there were no baby boys listed, so under 5 baby boys named Obama in 2007. In 2008 there were 14, in 2009 there were 16, and then last year they were back to none being listed. And Obama is actually a first name in its own right. It's a Swahili name, and it means leaning. So not a great meaning, but not a bad one. But I was a little surprised to find that it was a name on its own and not just being used as a first name after Barack Obama's surname. The next name is, of course, Mitt, Obama's new opponent. And Mitt is not really listed as a name anywhere. It's never been in the top 1,000, and it's not listed as a name, and it is actually his middle name. His first name is Willard, and Willard is a Germanic name. It means will or desire or brave. And I think Willard is kind of a cool name. It's a nice alternative to William if you like the name Will, but it reminds me of the principal from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I just think it's a little dated sounding. Next we have Rush Limbaugh, who is the famous political commentator, and I think Rush is actually a pretty cool name. It's an old French name, and it means red-haired. I kind of like that name. The next one is Rand. Rand Paul is a Kentucky senator, and it's a Germanic name. It means strong defender, which is a pretty cool meaning. Rand isn't a bad name. I really like our name, so that might be why I like Rush and Rand. Then we have Saxby, which is probably the weirdest one on this list. I had never heard this name before until I was doing some research on our senators to see what some of their first names were that I didn't already know. Saxby is a Scandinavian name, and it means Saxon farm, and I'm still not really sure what that means exactly, but it's definitely an out there kind of name. It's not my style at all, but maybe some of you guys will think Saxby is cool. Then we have Orrin, another senator, Orrin Hatch from Utah, and it's an old Greek name. It means man of the mountains. It's kind of a cool name. And then we have some surnames. We have Lincoln, which is a Welsh name. It means settlement by the lake, as in Abraham Lincoln, of course, and I think Lincoln is a really great name. We have Carter, which is another one that I really like. I love the name Carter, as in President Jimmy Carter. It's an Old English name, and it means cart driver, so it's an occupational name. And we have Clinton, and this reminds me of What Not to Wear, where we have Stacy and Clinton. But of course, in this context, it is after Mr. Bill Clinton, and it's an Old English name. It means settlement by the river Glyme, so it must be a specific river. But I really like all 3 of those names for boys, Lincoln, Carter, and Clinton. And then I had to include John on this list because we currently have 10 senators named John, or Johnny, or whatever, which I'm assuming Johnny is actually just a nickname for John. So yeah, we have 10 senators named John. John has been one of the most popular names throughout history, probably the most popular name in the U.S. throughout history. It was number 1 from 1880 all the way up until 1923, and it was in the top 10 until 1987. So it was in the top 10 for over 100 years, which is crazy, and it is currently at its all-time low at number 27. And it's a Hebrew name, and it means God is gracious. So I couldn't leave John off of the list. And now we have some female political figures. The first one is, of course, the lovely First Lady Michelle Obama. Michelle is a Hebrew name, and it means who is like God, with a question mark at the end. So it's a question, and I really like that meaning. I think it's really kind of cool. Who is like God? And I like the name Michelle, but it is a little dated to me. It reminds me of Full House. Then we have Anne, who is Mitt Romney's wife. Definitely a very common name. It's a Hebrew name, and it means God was gracious. And, of course, I'm sure everyone knows someone whose middle name is Anne. And Anne is a pretty common and fairly boring name for me. Then we have Hillary, and it's a Latin name, and it means cheerful, which is a great meaning. I never liked the name Hillary very much, but I don't really know why. But it has a really nice meaning. Then we have Condoleezza, and Condoleezza is an Italian name, and it means sweetness. And it's definitely not my style of name, but it's an alright name. It's very unique and out there. Then we have Sarah, Miss Sarah Palin, who is not one of my favorite people, but the name Sarah is a Hebrew name as well, and it means princess, which is a really adorable meaning, which is probably why there were a lot of Sarahs in my age group, and it is a really cute name. It's just definitely, I've heard it too much to ever use it now. Then we have Hattie, and Hattie Caraway was the first woman elected to the Senate in 1932. I think Hattie is an adorable name, but definitely only as a nickname. I really like it as a nickname for Henrietta. You can also use it for Harriet, and there are probably some other names out there you could use it for too. Then we have Olympia, who is a current senator from Maine, and her name is Olympia Snowe is her full name. Olympia is an old Greek name, and it means from Mount Olympus. I think it's a really cool name. You'd have to be really brave to name your daughter Olympia, I think, but it is really cool. It just makes me think of a really strong, powerful woman. Then we have Debbie. Debbie Stabenow is the Michigan U.S. Senator currently. Debbie is a Hebrew name, and it means bee, which is an adorable meaning. I had no idea Debbie had such a cute meaning. But I don't like the name Debbie. It is so dated, and I'm sure most of you guys will think 80s when you hear the name Debbie or Deborah. Then we have Kennedy, which is a Celtic name, and it means ugly head or armored head. I definitely prefer armored head to ugly head. I don't know what kind of meaning that is. But Kennedy is definitely way more popular as a girl's name. However, I personally like it better on a boy, but since it's so popular on girls now, I wouldn't use it for a boy, because then he would feel like he had a girl's name. And I've mentioned before, my brother Addison complains that he has a girl's name because there are so many girls named Addison now. So even if you really like a name that for boys that is typically used for girls, I would not use it for your boy. But Kennedy is a very cute name. Obviously, as in John F. Kennedy. And then the last name is Reagan, and Reagan is also way more common for girls, but I would have preferred it for a boy. But I understand this one a little more because its meaning is queen. Obviously, the spelling is the spelling as in Ronald Reagan, the president, and there is another spelling without the first A in there, which is the more like traditional spelling of the first name Reagan, which means queen, and it's a Latin name. So I can see why that one is more popular for girls. But thinking of it as a surname, I like it better for a boy. So those are my political names. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what names you liked, or if there's any politicians I missed that you guys would like to hear me talk about. And thank you for watching, and if you didn't see my earlier video, please make sure you get out there and vote if you are a U.S. citizen. I hope you guys are having a good week. Bye!